Hi, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Paddy Venner, and for the next few minutes, I want to really just break open a subject that is very big, and I don't even pretend to be able to in the next 3 minutes just scratch the surface of it. I won't even get as far as scratching the surface. But the whole area of abuse is a minefield. It's something we see spoken about more and more in social media and television programs, everything like that. We see it in movies, and I've entitled this little clip, Abuse Wears Many Masks, because we tend to think of abuse as physical violence, sexual abuse, but there are so many other ways that abuse actually happens. And if you identify any of these actually happening in your own life towards you, or if you are even identifying that maybe you're a perpetrator, please reach out for help. There is help available for not only victims, but also the abusers. Abuse goes way beyond being violent towards another person. It goes into exerting pressure and power over another person so that your desires and your goals are met at the expense of that other person. You see, in a loving relationship, we both win. In abuse, I win at your expense. There should never ever be somebody in the relationship who is taking a physical pounding or a psychological beating. That's not a relationship, that is abuse. And something has to happen, and that relationship has to end. It can just be a psychological drip feed of constant negatives and put downs, insults. It can be a whittling away of your confidence until you actually start to believe the abuser. That is the worst thing that I have seen in over 2 decades of working with people, is how very often the victim starts to believe that they're actually to blame for it. Abuse is without gender lines. Men and women both suffer it. I was just reading an article today about a man who had been severely physically abused and emotionally and psychologically abused by his wife, his partner, who he had the courage to leave. You see, abuse you can control someone with just a look across the room at somebody, and it causes them to immediately melt, and suddenly they feel like they're under your control. That is psychological abuse. If you stay with the abuser, you are enabling them, and you're basically letting them know that you are okay with this. You see, what you tolerate, you endorse. Now, I also am fully aware of how very, very difficult it can be to get out of an abusive relationship, especially if the person is the breadwinner, especially if the person is your only source of income. But at the same time, something has to give, something has to end, because you're destroying yourself. You're destroying yourself when you stay in a relationship like that. I once heard it said that the first time you were abused, you were a victim. The second time you were a volunteer because you stayed. Now that's it's a very glib way of perhaps looking at it. And I don't know if I agree with that fully, because there will be many, many circumstances where it was almost impossible for the abuse victim to actually leave. But there are places where you can go to for help. And if you need more advice about that, please comment in the comment section here. I'll do what I can to help you in my limited ability here. But let me say this, there is always a way out. It can be complicated. It will take determination. It will take a massive amount of courage. Abuse will wear the mask of care. Oh, but I care for you. That's why I get so angry with you. It can wear a mask of being a victim. Oh, but if you knew my childhood, if you knew my background, then you'd understand why I'm like that. It can wear a mask of manipulation. If you break up with me, I'll kill myself. If you break up with me, I'll do the following bad thing. That's manipulation. And the abuser very often will put on the tears, and they'll even cry, and they'll beg you to take them back. And as soon as you've done that, wow, they've got it. They can have their cake and eat it. I got away with the abuse. I can continue with it. It wears a mask of power. Let's unmask abuse. Come on, if you're in a relationship like that, it's going to take every little bit of strength, every bit of courage that you've got. But you can unmask this. Please, please, please reach out for help. There are so many places that are available to help you in this situation. Thank you so much for listening. Please feel free to comment on this. Please visit the website. I do offer private coaching as well. And I hope this has been helpful to at least some person. Thank you so much.